Suspend your disbelief, your rational, analytic mind, just for a minute, just for the length of this podcast. What if all I am about to tell you is the truth? What if the information you will be provided is from a divine source? Just for this time, I am your Axis Mundi. Consider this podcast your channel, your second opinion. When I do a reading, something larger than myself is working through me. So ask what you wish. This is your channel, your doorway to the divine. Welcome to Johnstarot. Welcome to you from wherever you are throughout the world. Welcome to you from California.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Welcome to you from Georgia.
I'm trying to free your mind, Neo. But I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it.
Well, welcome to you from Florida.
You are talking to a man who has laughed in the face of death, sneered at doom, and chuckled at catastrophe.
Welcome to you from Illinois.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Welcome to you from Poland.
This is all your fault, you.
Welcome to you from Ireland.
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
Welcome to you from Belgium.
We ain't getting no place fast.
Welcome to you from Bangladesh.
Now, don't make any more mistakes.
Welcome to you from China.
Hey, it's alive. Get something and kill it. Kill it.
Welcome to you from Ontario, Canada.
Calling Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
Welcome to you from, Victoria, Australia.
Try to relax. This will feel a little weird.
Yeah, welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be listening to me today. Welcome to Johnstarot. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, I want you to know, we're going to do some readings today. I'm going to take some news stories, and we're going to do a reading on some news stories and stuff like that. But as we go forward with Johnstarot, I want you to know this is going to be the best bargain on the internet. My prices are not going up. The price for today's video, free. The price for my past videos and podcasts, free. The cost for my future videos and podcasts, free. That's going to be the best bargain on the internet. I mean, there'll be no tariffs, no price increases, just a little enjoyment and a time to take a look in the future, a time to prepare yourself. So if you would like to be interviewed for Johnstarot, please send me a little note, send me a little email on you can get a hold of me either on YouTube or on my webpage at johnstarot.net. You just email me, John at johnstarot.net, and we'll do a little interview. If you need a personal reading, I'm going to open myself up to do personal readings to help people out. And you just need to make a little, my goal is to do 20 readings a week. 20? 10? I think 10. My readings are going to be cheap, like $20 a pop. And I'll send you, make an appointment, I'll send you the link, and we will do a little reading. We'll spend a little time, and you can ask anything you want and get some advice from the tarot and get a tarot reading. And that is going to be what I want to do in the future. So we'll see if that draws any interest. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about the worst kept secret on the internet, and that is the future economy. I did some readings. I did a personal reading the other day. Well, let me go over to my other screen here. So, you know, it's all over the internet. This is the worst kept secret on the internet, that the economy is going to take a bit of a dump. Trump threatens Apple with a 25% tariff if he doesn't build phones in America. So, if you want to buy an iPhone prices are going to go up 25%. And Apple, he talked to He talked to Tim Cook of Apple, and Apple's is trying to move some of their stuff over to India, which is a good deal because there's just not enough trained people in this country to build the phones, trained engineers and things of that nature. But if Tim Cook were to move Apple iPhone production to the United States, that would increase the cost by 25%. So maybe a question for us today might be, is this going to put Apple out of business? We're just going to see. And then another bit here is Trump. Trump says talks with the EU are going nowhere. Threatens a 50% tariff in June. Like I said, this is the worst kept secret on the internet. So in his post in Truth Social platform, Trump, what did he say here? Trump wrote that he was recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1st, 2025. That rate would be higher than the 39% Trump promised to hit the bloc with on his April 2nd so-called Liberation Day. Just minutes earlier, Trump had also threatened Apple with a 25% tariff if it does not start producing iPhones in the United States, an outcome industry experts broadly see as a non-starter. The concept of Apple producing iPhones in the U.S. is a fairy tale, prominent tech analyst David Ivey said in response to Trump's threat on Friday. This stuff is hitting all over, and I was concerned. And I did a little private reading on this the other day, and I'm going to share that with you today because it was pretty startling for me. So I usually do live readings. This is a reading I did the other day, and I was posting it up on up on the pages I go and visit too, where there's community chat. So the cards I drew past, the Tower, the 8 of Swords, and then the 10 of Wands. And then the runes I drew were Kenu, this one here, Jira, and Alges. So I'm going to go ahead and do the reading. And the Tower, the past. As a result of the tariffs that have already been imposed, the ships stopped coming in from China. We already know we have empty ports. We have empty ships sitting at the docks. China is not sending any ships over with any products. We were kind of getting used to cheap Chinese products. It used to be fun for me to go out to some of those sites. I can't remember. Temu, I think, was one. I can't remember the other one. Buy the cheap Chinese products. Those days are past. Those days are over. But we had become dependent upon those products, for sure. And there is going to be a definite rise in prices. And I think we're going to start seeing those this week, next week, like prices for, let's say, a normal computer cable, simple, USB cable, which used to be $5, will now be like $19. Yeah, kind of scary. What that is going to cause is a collapse. You see the Tower. It's a collapse. And this reading I did was, what can we expect from Trump's economy? And the first card I drew was the Tower. And so I'm afraid what it's telling me is we're going to recession, a collapse of the economy. Hang on to your money for a period of time. Things are not looking that promising as we head into the future. And the damage is already done. And so that's in the past. This is from the damage that was done a month or two ago. The damage is already done. There's no backing out of it. The rune is called Kano, and that has to do with we're shining a little light. We're shining a little light on what's going on here. We're shining out so that you are not caught flat-footed. You are not caught unawares. The economy is going to take a dive, which means that certain things that you wanted to do, you're going to have to be put on hold. I talked to a certain someone in my household the other day and about, expecting difficult times, and they were not happy. But it's out there. I mean, it doesn't take a psychic really to bring this one to the forefront. It's just going to happen, and we're shining a little light on it. And we're lucky enough to get a little head start, a little warning. The rune of Canas. It has to do with a luck, shining a light. It also has to do with shining a light on the future. So we're shining a light on what's going to happen. The next rune is the next tarot card is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, you see a woman blinded with the swords of truth all around her. It hasn't hit yet. The truth is all around us, but we haven't seen it yet. The prices haven't started going up yet. But it's going to happen. It's right there in front of us. And we need to take an honest appraisal of what's in front of us and what's going to happen. I just want you to be prepared. I don't think nobody's going to starve to death. At least middle-class people are going to starve to death. It's going to be a big problem. I know certainly for people who are on food assistance and assistance, I don't know what's going to happen. We could take a look at that and ask that question. And this is just the beginning. The rune is Jira. This is just the beginning. This will be just the beginning of this economic downturn. What to expect in the future. And it's telling me in the future to keep on working. It's going to be disturbing. Keep on working. The guy with all the wands on his shoulder. And don't forget that the goal, our goal, we work to keep our roofs over our heads and to feed our families and to stay focused on those types of issues, right? Keeping a roof over your head, feeding your family, and the rune is Algus, has to do with the hunt. So some of you might be on a hunt for a new job. Some of you might be on a hunt for new sources of income. Some of you might be on, but do not fear. We're going to get through this. Hard work is going to get us through this bad period. You see the Ten of Wands. It's going to take hard work. Do not fear. We're going to get through this. And that is kind of my depressing look for the future of the economy. I hope I'm wrong. Now remember, this is just a tarot cards. This is not written in stone. It's tarot cards have been wrong before. I hope they're wrong again this time. But this is the reading I got, and I just wanted to share it with you. So let me go ahead and go to another story here. What else we got here? I have things a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting. UFO, this is kind of an interesting story. UFO smashes into U.S. military plane in bizarre incident on the Air Force range. So there is this Air Force range in Arizona along the Mexican border, and there's been a lot of, I heard this guy, I forget his name, he does a lot of UFO reporting, and he did an interview, Ross Coltrane, and he interviewed a guy from the Department of Homeland Security, and there has been a lot of UFO activity on this range in Arizona and the Mexican border. And what happened, according to the article, was, I was to say here, an F-16 Viper got hit in the windshield by a small UFO, or what they call a UAS, uncrewed aerial system. So that's some kind of drone. But there has been a lot of UFO activity in that area, a lot of drones in that area. And I am just going to ask the tarot, what am I going to ask the tarot? I'm going to ask the tarot, is there an increase in UFO activity along the U.S.-Mexico border? And what is that about? What? And if so, why? So let me go over to my tarot page. And let's go ahead and gather the cards because we need a we need a new reading. And let's go ahead and shuffle the deck. And the question is, what is all this additional UFO activity along the Arizona-Mexican border? What's going on with that? What information can you give us about that? My background here is in Egypt. I got if you're seeing this on YouTube, I got to visit Egypt. Oh, I don't know, it was 14 years ago, and I just some pictures of an Egyptian temple. But it was a numinous place, quite a holy place with a lot of power to it. So what is the meaning of all this UFO activity along the Arizona-Mexican border? So let me go ahead and draw the cards. Our first card is the Ace of Cups. Our second card is the Six of Pentacles. And my third card is Death. And death is rarely, if ever, does that mean physical death. Usually means rebirth. Let me throw some runes on this. The Ace of Cups. Odin, Freya, please help guide this reading. What the Ace of Cups? Enlighten me on the Ace of Cups. The UFOs along the U.S. Arizona border and the Ace of Cups. And the rune is Solu. And that has to do with light over darkness. It's the Sig rune, the victory rune. And the second rune for the Six of Pentacles is, this rune is called Pertho. And it has to do with gambling, it has to do with the phoenix flying high and getting an aerial view of what's going on. And for the death card, what's going on the U.S., the Arizona-Mexican border and the UFOs. I thought I would just spend some time with UFOs today. And this one is Keno. And I just shake them up in a bag and draw them out one at a time. So the Ace of Cups, that has to do with relationships. Has to do with all relationships are a blessing, and we have something to learn from each relationship in our lives. Sometimes, even if the relationships are difficult, there is something to learn. So what we have in regards to UFOs in that Arizona border, we have a long-term relationship with these visitors. And the rune, the Sig rune, Solo, has to do with light over darkness, it has to do with victory. So there's been, in our relationship with the UFOs there has been some conflict in that area. And this is showing some victory over the conflict regarding the UFOs and our United States Air Force in that area, and they have reached some type of agreement. That was an accident that happened. That thing that hit the F-32, I think it was F-22. It was an accident, and the relationship is trying to be mended. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. They have chosen to be in that area. It was a choice of theirs, and it was authorized. It's been authorized by the Air Force. That's why information has not been let loose. And they are taking a broader, the rune has to do with, I think that rune is called Pertho. And they are taking a broader view of what's going on in that area. It's been it's not really a game of chance. It's been that, like I said to begin with, it's been that thing that has been a little higher up. They're taking a higher view, the flight of the phoenix, flying above the problem and taking a look. And they are authorized to be there. And they have chosen to reveal themselves to our authorities. And the authorities have given them the ability, the to fly above there and help take a look at certain problems that are going on. I need to take a look at that a little deeper. What problems are going on there other than our standard immigration problems? I'm kind of puzzled by that. And then the death card, it just has to do with as we go in the future, there's going to be a new. It's the end of an old relationship, the beginning of a new relationship, and this beginning of the new relationship is a rebirth of our association with the visitors. Now, I'm going to come back to some of this, and then the rune Cano has to do with shining light on this relationship, and I'm going to come back to that. And then, so they're offering us some help along the U.S.-Mexican border, and this is a new death of the old relationship, but the birth of a new relationship. How interesting is that? I wonder. It's all about relationships and establishing a new relationship. They've chosen to offer some help in this area. And how interesting is that? I wonder if there's ever going to be any kind of disclosure. So let's go on to my next little news story. What do I have here? Here we go. This is kind of an interesting news story where we have a former NASA flight surgeon has spoken out for the first time about a classified sighting he claims to have witnessed more than 30 years ago. Dr. Gregory Rogers, who served as NASA's chief flight surgeon and U.S. Air Force major, revealed to the Daily Mail that in 1992 he viewed security footage of what he described as a 20-foot flying saucer inside a Cape Canaveral hangar. He added that the craft, so he saw this thing in the hangar, and he said that he saw the thing levitate. He added that the craft tilted in a way that indicated it did not rely on traditional propulsion methods, as there was no visible jets or propellers. All of a sudden, it just lifted up, as smooth as could be, Rogers said in his interview with the Daily Mail. It rotated clockwise and counterclockwise and tilted 45 degrees while hovering. Let's take a look at that question. Let me go over to the tarot and let me gather the cards. In this story is what this guy saw, and was this an actual UFO? And I'll just draw 6 cards on this, and it'll be a strict yes or no. So was this an actual UFO that's being reported in the story I just talked about? And then cups and wands are yes. Swords and pentacles are no. And our first card is the Ace of Cups. My second card, and that's a yes. My second card is a 6 of Pentacles. That's a no. My third card is a Death card, and we throw out all major arcanas. So so I have. Was that an actual UFO from another planet? So far, the answer is split. Yes, the 3 of Wands. No, the 2 of Pentacles. So it's 50-50. Was this an actual UFO that the Surgeon General had saw a footage of? My third card, Ace of Wands. Yeah, that was actual footage of a UFO that he saw and that I discussed about in the article. So the government is hanging on to actual UFOs. I don't know why they're keeping it from us. Everybody knows. It's like everybody knows. Only people who are in the worst kind of denial would say that we don't know anything about UFOs, that we don't know anything about visitors from other planets. Let me gather the cards. I think I've got one more story related to all this. Let me take a look at it. That would be Will Donald Trump declassify UFO files? What we know, there has been a bipartisan push in Congress to have government declassify information related to unidentified anomalous, I can't pronounce that one, anomalous phenomena. In the previous congressional term, Schumer, a Democrat, and Republican Senator Mike Rounds introduced a bill requiring the government to disclose all current and former records on UAPs to the public unless officials can provide reasons for them to remain classified. Towards the end of 2024, the topic of UFOs and UAPs received renewed attention as mysterious drones began appearing over the East Coast and elsewhere. Yeah, I remember that. And they want that stuff to be released, that information to be released. And Trump promised to release all kinds, and he did release, they did release a lot of information. Released information, I probably forget, on the JFK thing, on the Martin Luther King thing. So everybody's wondering, will they release information on the UFO? So let's quickly take a look at that one. And that's on my tarot cam page. And let's shuffle the deck. It's a strict yes and no. It's going to be a strict yes and no. I'm only going to run about half an hour today. Will the Trump administration, we run into a lot of problems here. I'm going to ask, will the Trump administration release information on UFOs? The problem with that question is I do not believe President Trump has access to all that information. There is a bit of a deep government, I forget what they call it, a dark government, a deep government that's hanging on to this information. And they don't necessarily release it to presidents. So he cannot release what he doesn't have. So I can't really hold him responsible for that one. But we'll just say, will the government in general start to release information regarding UFOs? And I prefer the term UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomena, I forget what, UAPs. Will the government start to release information on UAPs? I'm going to do another 6-carder with wands and cups being yes, swords and pentacles being no. Will the government start to release information on the visitors, on the UAPs? My first card is the 3 of Wands. My second card is the 10 of Cups. So far, it's a yes, they will start to release information. My third card is the 7 of Pentacles. My third card is Knight of Pentacles. So it's 50-50. Will the government release information on the UAPs? Now I got a no, 5 of Swords. So I have 2 yeses, 3 no's. And what's my final card? No. 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 The dark forces controlling, Trump doesn't have any control over those things. And the people who do have control over them are not going to release that information. They're hanging on to it. Should I ask one more question? Let me ask one more question. Let's gather the cards. So, 3 cards. What's it going to take for this information to be released? Well, the UFOs themselves, or the visitors themselves, release that information. What's it going to take for that information to be released? Let's go ahead and shuffle the deck. I get curious about this type of stuff. What's it going to take for UFO information to be released? I mean, it's common knowledge we're hanging on to UFOs. It's common knowledge we have visitors, that they're helping us along the U.S. Arizona border. For some reason, we have a partnership with them down there. For what reason? How can I say this? For what reason are they not releasing this information? For what reason are they not releasing this information? For what reason is the government not releasing this information? My first card is a Page of Pentacles. My second card is a Page of Swords. That's like law enforcement. My third card is a Judgment card. Let's throw some runes on this. I'm just going to wonder, myself. So for the Page of Pentacles, what's it going to take for these people to release this information? Page of Pentacles. The rune is Ingwaz. And that has to do with beginning of a change. The second rune, the Page of Swords. What's it going to take for people to release this information? This rune is Iwaz. And the third rune over Judgment card. Oh, is it? And it's that same rune, Perthel. So, what's it going to take for the people to release this information? This is a new relationship. We got the Page of Pentacles. These guys are holding on to it. This has to do with compound interest. The longer they hang on to this stuff, the more valuable it becomes. And that's the compound interest involved with the Page of Pentacles. They're learning all kinds of new stuff. It is just starting to open up. And they're hanging on to it because it has value. And they do not want to release this to the general public and to our adversaries. Apparently, they have some breakthroughs in this area because I look at the rune Ingwaz. It has to do with they've just had some major breakthroughs in relation to. They just had some major breakthroughs in regards to cracking how some of this technology works. And it's just starting to lighten up for them. It's just starting to open up for them. It's just starting to. They've had it for a long time, but now it's starting to have some payoffs. They've made some major breakthroughs. The Page of Swords, it's a security. The Page of Swords has to do with security, and they're hanging on to it because of security concerns, and because of security concerns, that's a police. The message, and it also has to do with messages coming your way, but they're hanging on to it definitely for security and for security concerns. And the rune Iwaz has to do with transforming to transition, waiting. They have it. They're waiting, and right now they're not going to release anything. And then as we flow into new forms, it's just waiting. It's just got to be a long waiting. They are not releasing any information. And the Judgment card has to do with epiphanies and the new realizations, what's coming in the future. And they're not going to release any information because they're having new realizations, new understandings, new epiphanies regarding this information. And they see it. It's not really a game. It's more of they're trying to get a hold of what exactly. How is that going to affect people? How is that going to affect our society if they come out and release that information? And they're trying to take a broader view, but they are definitely not going to release that information. So I think we're going to wrap this up.
Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot!
Well, it was my pleasure. I hope you enjoyed my little tarot readings for today. Hey, if you would like a tarot reading, send me an email. We'll set up an appointment. I'm trying to do some. I've had some remarkable success and helped some people along with their careers and help people make major decisions. It just gives you additional information. Remember, it's a tarot reading. It's primarily for entertainment, but you can get some valuable personal information and a different way of looking at your problems. So until next week, be careful, be cool, and be kind. And I will see you all next week. Have a great week. All right, bye-bye.